Dawn wants to be vindicated. She wants her day in court. She wants to see accountability and justice after so many years of what she endured at the hands of Sean Combs. If the prosecutors are able to prove their claims, I think he should be in prison for the rest of his life. And I think he will be.
A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. I think my client and many others were just terrified of this man. Dawn Richard is a musician. All she wants to do is make music. She has critically acclaimed albums. She's about to go on tour. That's what she wants to do. The last thing she wanted to do was to bring a federal lawsuit against Sean Combs. But ultimately, she got to a breaking point, and she wanted to stand with the other women, and she wanted to tell her story, and it was time for her to seek justice. What shocked us the most is that the federal indictment is so strikingly similar to the complaint that we filed first a week ago. We alleged many of the same things, including forced labor, restriction of our clients' movements, false imprisonment, sexual abuse, sex trafficking, and not just against Sean Combs, but against a large number of other defendants who we claim were complicit, were enablers. Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity.
The racketeering charge is very important, and I'm so glad to see it in the federal indictment today, because what that is this is not just about Sean Combs. It's about Sean plus all of the enablers who conspired with him, the government says, to cover up his physical and sexual abuse of women for so many years. I have no idea what they are planning to do, but I would say this to everyone who is associated with Diddy. Now is the time to come forward, to acknowledge your part in this if you had a part in this, to apologize, and to do what you can to help the victims. The time for attacking the victims, for insulting the women, that's over. Justice is coming for Sean Combs and for everybody who was complicit with him in his enterprise.
The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
While it's very exciting to see this arrest and indictment, that is only the beginning. The government has to prove its case. Sean Combs remains a very wealthy and powerful man. He can afford the best attorneys to fight for him. And I would strongly encourage anybody out there who may have been a witness, may have been a victim, who has evidence, to please come forward. Contact an attorney like me, contact the FBI. Please come forward with what you have, because this will be an uphill battle against Sean Combs. A lot of people have reached out to Dawn and to my law firm to offer words of support and encouragement. Dawn has over 1 million Instagram followers. Many of her followers have been very loving and supportive. We really appreciate that, because of course there's also haters and people who have to write nasty things in comments. So it really means a lot to see the show of support. We have not been in contact with Cassie. I assume that the settlement that she reached probably includes an NDA, so she's probably not free to talk. But I will tell you that Dawn was very much inspired by Cassie Ventura's bravery in filing her complaint last fall. And that really set in motion the entire series of events that led not only to our complaint filed last week, but the federal indictment that we've seen today. Cassie Ventura is a heroine. She was extremely brave. She was the first one to come out and talk about these shocking allegations of physical and sexual abuse. Sean Combs' team essentially called her a liar when she filed that complaint. And then that brutal video of her beating came out, and they had to backtrack and issue kind of a pseudo apology, which is really just Sean Combs feeling sorry for himself.
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
If you are randomly, wantonly assaulting women, abusing women, threatening women, if you have AR-15s with the serial numbers covered up, if you are threatening people, if you are ruining lives, you should be in prison for the rest of your life.